Hello and welcome back to Kino-Plays, Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. Let's go. Where in the file is the information connected to this parrot's name? It's on the suspect data page. This page has all the information about Yanni Yogi. Right after he was arrested, his fiancée committed suicide, see? Indeed, it does say that, yes. What was his fiancée's name? Polly Jenkins. Polly? Exactly, Your Honour. He wanted to remember the name of his fiancée who had committed suicide. That's why he named his parrot after her. I see. I guess that is possible. Bah, a mere coincidence, that's all. My granddaughter has a dog she calls Phoenix. Well, Mr. Phoenix Wright, does this make you my granddaughter's fiancé? She's only 7, you fucking freak. That's enough. I think we've reached a conclusion here. This is a mere coincidence, that's all. No, dude. One thing is a coincidence, but we've just proven both the name and the date are important things to this guy. I think that should be sufficient to prove his identity. True, that is a possibility. However, 2 coincidences at the same time seems more like a pattern to me. Thank you, Judge, you're not as incompetent as I thought! What are you saying? Summon the caretaker of the boat shop. Immediately. Witness, tell us your name. Wait. This witness, he doesn't remember. No, it's okay. Holy shit! I've accomplished what I wanted to do. I'm done. Nick, he looks totally different! Yeah, this is the real Yogi, I think. Finally. He's been acting feeble to hide his true identity. Acting for 15 years. Well, let me ask you again. Please state your name for the court. My name is Yanni Yogi. 15 years ago I served as a bailiff in this very court. Order. Order. Yanni Yogi. So, was it you who killed Robert Hammond and tried to frame Miles Edgeworth for his death? Yes, it was me. I did it. They put me on the witness stand 15 years ago. Robert Hammond, he said I was mentally unsound. He told me it would make me innocent, get me off the hook. So, I pretended to have brain damage. I was innocent, really, but he didn't believe me. We won the trial, but I lost everything. I lost my job, my fiancée, my social standing. Then, this year, 15 years later, a package arrived. It was a letter and a pistol. Motherfucker! It is the same gun from 15 years ago. That asshole either stole it from evidence, or the gun had never been recovered in the first place. I don't know which. But either way, you motherfucker! No, it must have been in evidence. I mean, they knew that there'd been 2 gunshots back then. The plan was written out in careful detail. It was a plan for me to take my revenge on the people who ruined my life. I didn't care who had sent it. I thought this was my chance after 15 years. This was it. Finally, a chance to have my revenge on Robert Hammond and Miles Edgeworth. I have no regrets. Wait a moment. Revenge against Miles Edgeworth? What do you mean? I'm not at liberty to speak on that matter. Why don't you ask Mr. Edgeworth yourself? Anyway, I admit it. I was the one who killed Robert Hammond. Von Karma, where is Mr. Yogi? Under arrest, Your Honor. I saw no room for error in his confession. Then the defendant Miles Edgeworth is innocent, in this case at least. Very well. Will the defendant please take the stand? There are a few mysteries left unsolved. Still, you are cleared of suspicion for this particular case. So I would like to pass judgment on the murder of Mr. Robert Hammond. Any objections? I don't believe it. Why isn't Von Karma saying anything? Really, Phoenix? Really? He's not saying anything because this case is over. Once he gets the not guilty verdict, then he's going to butt in and bring up the DL6 incident and try to prosecute Edgeworth. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth, not guilty. Ta-da! That is all. This court is adjourned. Objection? There we go. Ooh, that was an evil smile right there. Jesus, Von Karma. Did someone just say objection? It wasn't... Wait, really? Well, yeah, I mean, the voice line wasn't Von Karma's. I guess it was Edgeworth. He wants to plead guilty, I guess. It wasn't Von Karma. Wait, that means... No. Edgeworth? Your Honour, I object to your judgment. But what do you mean? I'm not innocent at all. As we have heard, Yanni Yogi killed Robert Hammond in revenge. But revenge for what? Nick! Edgeworth is trying to confess. He's going to say he's guilty. He's going to tell them he was the murderer in the DL6 incident. He's going to tell them he killed his own dad. Oh, fuck, what do I do? Well, I want to protect him with an objection. But I also want to leave it to Edgeworth so that we can get a chance to go against Von Karma. I think we need to do an objection so that we'll get a chance to at least talk to Edgeworth and tell him what our thoughts are of what's been going on. I mean, we haven't actually told Edgeworth that Von Karma wrote the letter yet, have we? I don't think he knows that Von Karma is part of this conspiracy against him. And maybe he's smart enough to work out why if he does learn it. So, objection. Yeah. The judgment has already been passed. I object to Edgeworth's outburst. Didn't something like this happen yesterday, too? I believe a certain witness raised an objection after a guilty verdict was passed. Yeah, that'd be Larry. We must hear this new statement. We must hear Miles Edgeworth. He's right. We have a duty to hear Mr. Edgeworth out. For 15 years, I have had a recurring dream. A nightmare. It's only a nightmare, that's what I told myself. But now I know, it wasn't a dream. Yanni Yogi wasn't the killer. You mean in the incident where your father died? From the distance of the shot, it wasn't suicide either. Everything was as clear as day. The murderer, the criminal in the DL6 incident, it was me. Your Honour, I confess my guilt. I am guilty for DL6, the statute of limitations of which ends today. The culprit is me. Order! Order! This is certainly unexpected. The defendant, declared innocent, is confessing to a different crime. A crime for which the statute of limitations runs out today. I'm not really sure how I should deal with this. It's obvious. We hold a trial right here, right now. We try this man for his crime of 15 years ago. I think I would like to take a 5-minute recess. During this time, I will consider the appropriate course of action to take. Court is adjourned. Yeah, you're right about that, Tomo. All we can do is let him talk and find the contradictions and the flaws and try to steer that towards saying that Von Kamm is the murderer. Because I really think he is. I'm sorry, Wright. I've just wasted all your effort. Mr. Edgeworth, I just don't believe it, sir. I mean, you kill your dad? I didn't want to believe it myself, Detective, but it's the truth. I deserve to be punished. Murder is murder, no matter what the circumstances. No, it fucking isn't. This is crazy. Just crazy. Nick? What are you doing? Huh? Oh. I was just reading through the court record once more. I'm getting my case ready. Your case? For what? Huh? Isn't it obvious? I'm going to prove that Miles Edgeworth is innocent. But what are you talking about, pal? He just admitted to it. He confessed that he did it. In court. I'm sorry, Edgeworth, but I don't believe your nightmare. What? It's just a dream. It's not real. The truth is right here in this court record. In any case, tighten your belts. The real fight is just beginning. I'll prove you're innocent. Trust me. Right. Yeah, exactly, Termo. If he threw the gun and it misfired, there should only be one shot, not two. That first shot must have hit... Well, no. I'm not going to say that it must have hit the window, because I really do think that either Von Kamm shot Edgeworth's dad from outside of the lift, or he got the lift open, shot him, and then left the gun, and then closed the door again. If Von Kamm entered the lift, then the supposed first shot from throwing the gun, that's what hit the window. Otherwise, maybe at the ceiling, and Von Kamm shot in from outside. I don't know. Now then, Would you like to resume our trial? I would like to resume our trial. Judge. Miles Edgeworth has admitted his own guilt. He has confessed his crime. Let us begin by hearing his testimony. Then, though pointless, let the defense do their cross-examining. The statute of limitations on the DL6 incident runs out today. Though it's unconventional for me, I'd like to run this one by the book. I see. Does the defense have any objections? Nah, sounds about right, Your Honor. Oh, Karma, you knew this was going to happen from the very beginning, didn't you? Very well. Will Miles Edgeworth take the stand? Will the witness state his name and profession? Miles Edgeworth. I'm a prosecuting attorney. Mr. Edgeworth, 15 years ago you mistakenly killed your father, Gregory Edgeworth. Is that correct? It is correct. Then testify about this matter to the court. When Edgeworth was telling me about his dream yesterday, I noticed something. One detail didn't quite fit. You mean the fact that he threw the fucking gun? Yeah, it doesn't fit. That'll be the key, but only if I can get to work. Please, please. That day I'd gone to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. My father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. Just then, something heavy fell at my feet. I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. We do still have the victim page of the file to use that could be used, Tomo, but I don't know if we need that yet. That might be like a red herring section, so that because you needed to present those other two pages. But I mean, maybe because wait, does the record itself state that there were 2 gunshots? I can't remember. I know we know that he was shot once in the heart. Yes, it does specify the weapon was fired twice, so yeah, this will be important. Good point, Emma. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, then a scream. There we go! A single gunshot. We'll present it right there. It was a terrible scream. I remember it to this day. That's all. And until now, you thought this memory was a dream? We were stuck in that elevator for 5 hours. The oxygen in the elevator ran out and I'd lost my memory of the event. Huh. The same claim Mr. Yogi has made. Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Now, this may be a mistake to do, but I'm confident enough that we're both right, Tomo, that I'm skipping straight to that line in presenting it. Booyah! Are you sure you only heard 1 gunshot? Yes, I'm sure of that. I heard the shots and the scream. Then everything faded. I was unconscious until the rescuers came. I see. No, Your Honor. Unfortunately, you don't. Look at this file one more time. This plainly contradicts the witness's testimony. You do enjoy dragging out that file, don't you? I don't accept this evidence unless you can tell us what page it is on. Which page contradicts Mr. Edgeworth's testimony? Look at the victim data in this file. It says it quite plainly. The murder weapon was fired twice. There's just one small problem in the way we've been using this evidence, Tomo. This is our notes on the file. The file itself has been destroyed. Why are they even accepting this as evidence? I don't get it. I mean, maybe we made photocopies of these 3 specific bits of information and that's what was showing? But that wasn't the implication when we took the details. I thought we just took notes of it. If it's just notes, this shouldn't be accepted. They're just taking our word on it because we haven't even got the original file anymore because of Von Karma stealing it. We're pulling all this crap out of our ass, basically. It says it quite plainly. The murder weapon was fired twice. Miles Edgeworth only heard 1 shot. Yet the murder weapon was fired twice. The first shot was the accidental firing when the pistol was thrown. So, who fired the remaining shot? Was there perhaps another shooter who fired that second shot? Your Honour, as I'm sure you're aware, this incident occurred 15 years ago. The evidence is dated. The pistol did fire twice. However, we do not know when that second shot was fired. It might have been fired the day before the incident. There is no proof that the second shot had anything to do with this incident. Actually, I think the photograph is the proof that it does have something to do with it. Because surely a ricochet off the glass wouldn't leave a hole in the glass. The only way for a hole to be there is for the bullet to have gone through it. Which means it wouldn't have been able to shoot him in the heart, since the bullet was found inside his body. What? I see. Ah! That's why he was trying to steal the bullet that we recovered, because then he could say it wasn't in the body. You do have a point, Mr. Wright. The murder weapon was fired twice, as we have heard. One of those shots was fired by the defendant, a boy at the time. Do you have any proof that the other shot fired had something to do with the case? Yes, I do. Your Honour, I think I'll be able to show you proof. What? Impossible. No, Mr. Von Karma. Save your surprise for after you've seen the evidence. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show us your proof. Do you have evidence that the second firing of the pistol is related to this incident? Oh, you dickweed! The wording of it being the second firing... That's a screw up, because... I mean, we found one in the body. Right, I'm certain that that's the first shot, and that's the second shot. But... saying that the second one matters... it's gotta be the photo. It can't be the bullet in the heart. Come on. Look at this photograph. I don't like that the music didn't change. This is a photograph of the scene of the crime, 15 years ago. I can see that the victim lying there is Gregory Edgeworth. This proves the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. This photo proves it. What? So, let me get this straight. This photo proves 2 shots were fired. Where? Your Honor, please get a clue! Show the judge the contradiction in the photo. Right fucking here, bitch! As should be obvious, the contradiction is here. I see a bullet hole in the door. Your Honor, Gregory Edgeworth was killed by a shot from the pistol. Yet there's also a bullet hole in the elevator door. We also know that the murder weapon was fired twice. Thus, someone other than Edgeworth fired that second shot. Order! Order! Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? It's simple, Your Honor. At the time of the incident, 2 shots were fired. One went into Gregory Edgeworth's heart, the other hit the elevator door. Remember that the defendant lost consciousness after the shot he fired rang out. In conclusion, we must agree that the second shot was fired by someone else. Mr. Wright, but who could that someone else be? The murderer, of course. I knew I should have stepped in before your wild fantasies got out of hand. Mr. Wright, look once more at the DL6 incident case file. Look closely. Try the case summary page. The case summary? That's on page 1. Look what is written there. Not a single clue was found on the scene. Wait, what? Did that always say that? I don't think it did. Did it? Did he just change the info, or did that always say that? And yeah, exactly, Tomo. There was a piece of evidence found at the scene of the crime. The bullet in his goddamn heart. Huh? If the pistol had indeed been fired 2 times, then the other bullet would have been discovered on the scene. Dude, if the pistol was fired even 1 time, then there should have been a bullet casing found inside the elevator, which means that a piece of evidence would have been found. Plus the gun itself, anyway. That's 2 clues that they should have found at the scene of the crime. The fuck are you talking about? He does have a point. That second bullet has never been found. Why? Because the second bullet does not exist. The bullet that claimed Gregory Edgeworth's life was the one fired by his own son. That is the truth of this matter, the whole truth. It was undoubtedly something else that made that bullet hole in the door. Oh, so that's where he's going with this. There isn't a bullet hole. Okay. Order. I will have order. Mr. Wright has proven one thing to us quite clearly. That the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. However, as Mr. Von Karma says, the second bullet fired was not found. It is highly unlikely that the police merely overlooked the second bullet. Not necessarily. I mean, Think about it. Let's just think about it. He throws the gun, it goes off. That means it hit the ground and went off, most likely. Which means that to go through the window the way it had, it would have to be at a very steep upward angle coming from the floor, which means that the bullet would have hit the ceiling. Now, maybe they overlooked a bullet hole in the ceiling, but more likely the ceiling had been damaged by the earthquake, so it just got overlooked. Hell, maybe the bullet is still there. Or maybe Von Karma, having been the motherfucker who fired the second shot, collected that second bullet from the ceiling himself and fucked off with it. So, all we have is the single bullet fired. I'm afraid I have to discount the defence's claim. Tisk, tisk, tisk. I praise the judge for his wisdom in this matter. How did this happen? I don't believe that the second bullet didn't exist. Was I wrong? Have I been wrong about this whole incident? What are you doing, Nick? Why aren't you raising an objection? I'm sorry, mate. What? It looks like I was wrong. Nick? If the second bullet wasn't there, then all my conjectures are for nothing. No! What you said you'd do it, Nick. You said you'd get Edgeworth declared innocent. I'm sorry. It's just, when I saw the photograph, I thought that 2 shots had been fired. I was so certain of it. I thought I'd won. I thought there was another person, someone else who fired the killing shot. But now, I was wrong to think it could be that simple. No, you were only wrong to not have any sort of contingency for, well, where the fuck was the second bullet then? Question. I mean, it could have either lodged in the ceiling. Once it went through the window, it could have ricocheted off the ceiling and hit somewhere else further down the corridor. The prick Von Karma could have taken the bullet. There are lots of possibilities here, dude. Oh my god. Tomo? Do you think we're going to do an investigation outside where the elevator was? Because if so, there's a reason we still have the metal detector. We're going to find the bullet. This case has stood unsolved for 15 years. Nick. Well, it seems that we have finally cleared up this incident. Only 1 bullet was found at the scene of the crime. That shot was fired by Miles Edgeworth. Precisely. I would like to ask one thing of Miles Edgeworth before passing my verdict. Have you been paying attention to the trial so far? Yes, Your Honor. Do you have any objections? No. No, I do not. So, you killed your father, though that was not your intention? Yes, I did. Oh no. He's accepted the guilt. Very well. The statute of limitations on the murder of Gregory Edgeworth runs out today. Therefore, I must pronounce a verdict on the defendant today, right here. Right now? Indeed. Does anyone have any objections? Been here before. It's just like my first day in court. There's so many things I know I should be saying. My mind's gone blank. I can't find the words. The word is objection, you stupid motherfucker. Mr. Wright.
Objection!
Your Honor, I object. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Mr. Wright, on what grounds do you object? Nick? I don't know. His case is perfect. Oh no. It must exist. The second bullet. Wait, what? So Tits McGee isn't here yet, then? Is Phoenix psychic now? What? What did you just say? Nothing? The second bullet must exist? But where? Someone took it. It seems waiting is not going to produce us any answers from Mr. Wright. Wait, Your Honor. The second bullet, it existed. What? But we've just heard proof that it did not exist. No, you only heard that it wasn't found. That's not proof. I realise that, Your Honour. I'm really grasping here. It's just someone took it from the scene of the crime. That's what happened. But who? The murderer. The murderer? Then tell us just who is this murderer? I'm still thinking about that one. So, the criminal took the second bullet, but why? Huh? First of all, how would they have found it? It's not easy to find a stray bullet, Mr. Wright. Was there some pressing need for the murderer to search for that bullet? Well, yeah. Because if there's only one bullet, then everything's tied up and only the people within the lift could have done it. Of course there was a need. That's why he took it. Ha! What possible reason could they have had? Well, the reason the murderer took the bullet away from the scene with them is that the bullet would be proof. Maybe they thought that the bullet would be used as proof? Proof? It was a special bullet, so they took it with them. If that was the case, then they should have taken the bullet from inside Gregory as well. Oh yeah, because removing a bullet from the person you just killed is such an easy thing to do. Wouldn't get blood all over you whatsoever and then make it difficult for you to get the fuck out of there without anyone noticing. That's a stupid objection. Huh? Why would they only take one of the two bullets fired? Oh, right. Mr. Wright, have you really thought this through? I'm going to have to penalize... Wait, what? Really? Seriously, that weak-ass objection was enough to get me a penalty. This isn't going so well. Was there some pressing need for the murderer to search for that bullet? Yeah, he had to find it. Of course there was need. That's why they took it. Yeah, I'll have to try the other one, because he was cautious. Well, the murderer was a very cautious sort, you see. That's why the murderer had to search for that bullet. If that was the case, then they should have taken the bullet from inside Gregory as well. Motherfucker! Yeah, it's the exact same response. I guess they didn't need to take it, but they took it anyway because they were cautious? Why would the murderer have spent the time to look for that stray bullet? I haven't got a clue. What's wrong, Mr. Wright? The murderer had no reason to take that bullet. You don't want to admit it, but it's true. Had to take it. Had to take it? The murderer? What does that mean? You're thinking too normal. Think crazy. Don't think why the bullet was taken. Think why the bullet had to be taken. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. I have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah, clearly. Well, the murderer had no intention of taking the bullet from the scene. But, the murderer had to take that bullet. Had to, Mr. Wright? What do you mean? So it's a compulsion, then? Well, for instance... For instance, what? Maybe the bullet, hit... Oh! Motherfucker! Interesting! So it went out through the window, hit the roof, I guess, and ricocheted into the murderer. And that was the final straw which made him come in and kill the guy. Huh. Oh! And that's why he took the long vacation, so that his bullet wound would heal. Except that if he went off to do that way, then he probably didn't go to a hospital to get it removed. So we are going to use the metal detector to find the bullet in Von Karma. The bullet hit the murderer? Just saying, for instance. I mean, if it hit you, you would have to take it with you, wouldn't you? It's not like you could perform surgery right there. You know? That's fucking stupid! Wait a second. I was just talking off the top of my head, but what if that's really what happened? Let me get this straight. So, at the time of the murderer himself was shot. Themself was shot. And they left with the second bullet still inside of them. Thus leaving only one bullet at the scene of the crime. Yeah. I guess that's how it would work. Yeah. But there's a problem with that. The other two people rescued from that elevator, Miles Edgeworth and Yanni Yogi, were both unharmed. So that would mean the murderer came from outside. Yeah. Nice of you to catch up there, Judge. The two men fight inside the elevator. Trying to stop them, the boy picks up the pistol at his feet and throws it. The pistol discharges and the bullet goes through the elevator door and hits the murderer outside. The boy loses consciousness. Then the murderer opens the elevator door and sees the men inside. Mr. Wright, you are truly the most unpredictable defense attorney I've ever known. I can tell you're grasping, yet I cannot deny the possibility of what you say. What are you saying? Deny it. Deny it. No one involved with the incident was wounded. There was no murderer. No one was wounded at the time of the incident. He's right. I can't think of anyone. Hey, Nick! Huh? I just thought of something really crazy. Crazy? Remember what Mr. Grossberg said yesterday? Gregory Edgeworth dealt a blow to his perfect trial record. Wow. It must have been quite a shock for Von Karma. He took a vacation for several months after that, you see. Yes, an unusual event for the man. That was the first and the last vacation he has taken in many years of prosecuting. What if Von Karma didn't take that vacation because of shock, but took it because he was injured? Which would mean... it could only mean one thing. He was the murderer in the DL6 incident. He was the man who shot Gregory Edgeworth. It was Von Karma. Oh, fuck! Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You seem dazed. No, Your Honor. Well, you have indicated the possibility that the murderer came from outside. Can you give us the name of your suspect? Oh, fuck. Should I come out and say it now? Shit! I'm not sure. I don't think we have enough proof to say it right now, but I can't see how we'd get a better time. So, yeah, let's go, Tomo. Your Honor, there is a suspect. One lone suspect. Well, this is certainly interesting news. Very well, Mr. Wright. Who is your suspect? My hands are shaking. What? Von Karma. Von Karma? Oh, that shit-eating grin! Holy crap! You mean the Von Karma, the prosecutor, the one standing right over there? Huh. You don't object? I see no need. Why honour this ridiculous outburst with my objection? Because you took a vacation for several months starting the day after the incident. Yet, you pride yourself on a perfect record. Why would you take such a long vacation without any reason? So, you're claiming that I took a vacation to heal my injury from the incident? Fascinating. Prove it. I would have needed surgery, no. Where did I go under the knife at, Mr. Wright? Bring the doctor that operated on me. Have him testify. Fuck. Nick, let's find out who his doctor is. It's no use. Edgeworth? I know Von Karma perhaps too well. He's perfect. He wouldn't leave clues. He probably didn't undergo surgery. That would leave a doctor as a witness. No one's that perfect. So what, Nick? Did Von Karma pull the bullet out by himself? That's insane! No, he couldn't have. You can't just pull bullets out yourself. I mean, who ever heard of that happening in a movie, game, TV show, or real life? Yeah, no one ever has performed surgery on themselves to remove a bullet. No, that's totally wild and insane. Wait. What does that mean? That bullet has to be somewhere, but where? Tisk, tisk, tisk. Well, Mr. Wright, can you produce evidence to prove that I was shot? Damn right I can, bitch. Alright, Von Karma, I'll prove it. And I'll even use evidence. I know how you like it so much. What? The evidence that proves Mr. Von Karma was shot is... metal detector! Von Karma's perfect. He wouldn't risk surgery leaving an evidence trail. So then I ask, where is that bullet now? I think it unlikely that Von Karma performed surgery on himself. You You don't mean? I do. There is the possibility that the bullet is still inside Von Karma. Is that even possible? For all these years? Well, there's one way to find out. We could use this metal detector. Well, Von Karma, I'm going to run this over you and see what we find. Fuck off! I refuse. You refuse. But refusing this means you acknowledge that the bullet is still inside you. Order. 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 Your Honour, the defence requests that we be allowed to use the metal detector. Judge, I call for a suspension of this trial. This is an invasion of privacy. Statute of limitations runs out on this case today. It was you who said we had to end it right here, right now. Enough. I permit the use of the metal detector. Mr. Von Karma, strip. You will submit yourself to testing. Nick, what does this mean? I have no fucking clue, but we have to give it a shot. It reacted. Something inside his right shoulder. The bullet. Mr. Von Karma? You. It was you. I was afraid this would happen, and so I remained silent. Indeed, there is a bullet in my shoulder. However, it has nothing to do with this incident. What? I was shot in the shoulder long before the DL6 incident. I claim that the bullet in my shoulder has no relation to DL6. And that is why he was trying to steal that bullet, because of connecting the bullet to the one in his shoulder. But Mr. Von Karma, can you prove that? Prove? I have no obligation to prove anything. It is Mr. Wright who must prove something here, not I. Mr. Wright? Well, can you prove it? Can you prove that the bullet in Von Karma's shoulder was from DL6? Of course he can't. You don't have any of the DL6 evidence. That's because you took out of the records room, you prick. With no proof, you cannot convict me of any crime. So sorry, Mr. Wright. No, I'm the one who's sorry, Mr. Von Karma. But what? You were close. One day away from freedom. But you see, I have proof. What? Who would have thought you would dig your own grave trying to convict Edgeworth? I can link that bullet in your shoulder to the DL6 incident. And here's my final proof. Yeah, there's just one small problem here, Phoenix. He's a damn good lawyer, and I'm pretty sure he could put in court objections to stop you from having a doctor remove the bullet within the next 24 hours. So how are you going to compare this bullet to the one in his shoulder without taking it out? That's a bullet? Where did you get that? This is the bullet used in the DL6 incident. This was taken from the heart of the victim, Mr. Gregory Edgeworth. The bullet is preserved quite nicely with all the ballistic markings intact. Ballistic markings? You may recall the term. It came up in the first trial 2 days ago. And you're probably not a fucking moron, so you should know what it is as a prosecuting attorney. Whatever. Ballistic markings are the fingerprints of a weapon. All bullets fired from a gun are marked with that weapon's unique pattern. By examining the markings, you can tell which weapon fired the bullet. It's quite accurate. We have 2 bullets in our possession. One, the bullet removed from Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other, Mr. Von Karma, is the bullet buried in your shoulder. We can analyse both bullets. Then, if the markings matched, we would know that both bullets had been fired from the same gun. The very same pistol, in other words, the murder weapon that killed Gregory Edgeworth. Mr. Von Karma, you will let us remove the bullet from your shoulder. Then, we'll compare the ballistic markings to those on this bullet. And solve this case, once and for all. Well, Mr. Von Karma? Rage! Arg. Arr. That scream. I've heard that scream before. Wait, I know. Help! I can't breathe! Quiet. I said quiet. You're not making this any easier. Stop breathing my air! I'll stop you! Stop breathing my air! Get away! Get away from my father! It's that scream I heard in the elevator. 15 years ago. Von Karma, it was you who screamed. Mr. Von Karma. Edgeworth! Only you would dare. So, it was you. You and your father are my curse. Your father shamed me with a penalty on my record. You left a scar on my shoulder that would never fade. I'll bury you. I'll bury you with my bare hands. Death! Death! Chief Prosecutor, I am sorry. Von Karma, it's not like you to make this kind of error. I never would have thought that Edgeworth would be the one to catch you. I was careless. I'm sorry, but you will have to be penalised. I've covered for you in the past, but not this time. Edgeworth! It was a shock like none I'd ever known. Me, penalised. It took hours for me to regain my composure. Suddenly, I find myself in the darkness. I was in the court records room. I must have wandered in there without thinking where I was going. The room was pitch black. The lights must have gone out. I went out into the hall and felt my way to the elevator. I pressed the button, but nothing happened. Then, there was a noise. I was in pain, a horrible burning pain in my shoulder. Just then, the lights came back on. The elevator door opened before my eyes. I saw 3 people inside, all lying unconscious from oxygen deprivation. Much to my surprise, a pistol lay at my feet. I knew then it was destiny. In his last moments, Gregory Edgeworth was still unconscious. He died, never knowing who had shot him. Later, he spoke through a medium blaming Mr. Yogi. He was fooled. It was the perfect crime. Clearly not, because we caught you, bitch. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Who would have thought another man would have come to open that elevated door? Judge. What? What are you doing? Do your job. Bring an end to this miserable charade. Now, end it. Very well. It appears that we have come a very long way to the end of this maze. 15 years later. Mr. Miles Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honour? You were innocent. You are innocent. As you said, it was all a nightmare. Yes, Your Honour. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth, not guilty. Yay! That is all. This court is adjourned. What, so you're not going to find Von Karma guilty then? We don't get the satisfaction of you giving him a guilty verdict in front of us. Prick. Well, we will wrap up this court case and begin the next and final court case of this game after the break, next time on Kino-Plays, Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. New episodes upload daily to the YouTube channel, 9 PM UK time. Thank you for joining me, take care, and goodbye. Oh crap, I can't even save here, can I? I need to press the button once. Yeah, exactly, Tomo. If he doesn't declare him guilty right now, he goes free. Statute of limitation. I would have liked to have seen him declare him guilty, please. Oh well. And I'm going to keep all that in.